Today we're going to learn how to use CSS media queries to build responsive websites. And we'll practice what we learned by completing 3 projects. Let's go sports medal. What are CSS media queries? Steps to follow the syntax practice project's conclusion. Topics to discuss at a glance. You can watch this tutorial on YouTube as well if you like. CSS media queries allow you to create responsive websites across all screen sizes, ranging from desktop to mobile. So you can see why it's important to learn this topic. Here's a demo of the magic of media queries backhand index pointing down. We'll build this in project 2 below. This layout is called the card layout. You can see more layout examples here. For this project, you need to know little bit of HTML, CSS, and how to work with VS Code. Follow along with me. Create a folder named Project 1, open VS Code, create index.html, style.scss, and main.js files, install live server and Sass compiler, run live server and Sass compiler. HTML. In HTML, write this code inside the body tag backhand index pointing down. We also need to see the exact size of our window. Here's a demo of what I mean. So, write this line inside the HTML file. What is SCSS? We'll use SCSS, not CSS. But, what is SCSS? SCSS is a preprocessor of CSS which is more powerful than regular CSS. Using SCSS we can nest our selectors like a branch of a tree and better manage our code. Store various values into variables, use mixins to stop code repetition and save time, and much more. In our SCSS, we'll remove our default browser settings, and we'll change box sizing, font size, and font family like this. Backhand index pointing down. Don't forget to set the height of the .container class. Otherwise we'll fail to achieve our desired results. Remember the additional ID we wrote in HTML? We'll style it and position it in our browser here. JavaScript. We need to update our screen size inside our ID every time we resize our window. So, write this code in your main.js file. Download the images for the project. Responsive website also means responsive images. So we're also going to make our images responsive in this project. The images are on my GitHub repository. Here's how to get them. Visit and copy the link above, index pointing up, go to downgit and paste the link you copied, follow the steps in this video, backhand index pointing down. And we're all set. Let's start coding. Smiling face with smiling eyes. Here's the syntax of a media query. And here's an illustrated explanation. Let's divide the syntax into 4 sections. Media query declaration, the media type, min width and max width functions, the code itself. To understand all 4 sections of the syntax, let's start our first project. We'll build this index pointing up. It's a small project where the background color changes on resizing the window by taking one small step at a time. Let's start the HTML. Place the following code inside your HTML. Like this. The SCSS. Now, we'll store 4 color codes inside variables like this, backhand index pointing down. You can find more colors at coolors.co if you want to choose your own. Now, at the bottom, target the .container and .text classes. We'll also center our text like this, backhand index pointing down. So far so good. 1. How to declare media queries. Media queries start with the @media declaration. The main purpose of writing this is to tell the browser that we have specified a media query. In your CSS, write it like this, backhand index pointing down. 2. How to set the media type. This is used to specify the nature of the device we're working with. The four values are: all print screen speech. Here's the purpose of each of the values at a glance: backhand index pointing down. We declare the media type after the media declaration, like this. Why do we write the AND operator? Let's say we're placing an order at a restaurant: a burger and a pizza. Notice that the two orders are separated by and. Likewise, the media type, min width, and max width functions are basically conditions we are giving to the browser. We don't write the AND operator if we have one condition, like this dash. We write the AND operator if we have two conditions, like this. You can also skip the media type and work with just min width and max width, like this. If you have three conditions or more, you can use a comma, like this. 3. How to use the min width and max width functions. Let's discuss the most important component of a media query: screen breakpoints. To be honest, there's no such thing as a standard screen breakpoint guide because there are so many screen sizes on the market. But for our project, we'll follow the official Bootstrap 5 screen breakpoint values. Here they are. Here's a list of every device screen resolution on CSS tricks. The max width function. Using this function, we are creating a boundary. This will work as long as we are inside the boundary. Here's a sample backhand index pointing down. Our boundary is 500 px. Notice how the light purple color gets disabled when we hit above 500 px. To recreate this, write this code in SCSS. At the bottom, insert the media query like this: backhand index pointing down. The min width function. We are also creating a boundary here, but this will work if we go outside the boundary. Here's a sample. Backhand index pointing down. Our boundary is 500 px. Notice how the light purple color gets enabled after we hit above 500 px width. To recreate this, write this code in SCSS. At the bottom, insert the media query like this: backhand index pointing down. To sum it up, remember that max width set styles inside the set boundary, min width set styles outside the set boundary. The code itself. Let's put our first project together. We will have 4 screen breakpoints: mobile-576px, tablet-768px, laptop-992px, desktop-1200px. Yes, we are following the official Bootstrap 5 screen breakpoints, and each breakpoint will get these colors. For 4 device types, we will have 4 media queries. Before touching the media queries, first let's store the breakpoint values in variables, like this. Note: don't forget to add the $sign, and our .container class should look like this. We're all 50% done. Now let's set up the 4 media queries. But wait. You need to follow the proper order while writing the media queries. Start writing from the largest display to the smallest display. First breakpoint for desktop, 1200 px. For the desktop screen, write this code in SCSS: backhand index pointing down. And here's the result. Second breakpoint for laptop, 992 px. For laptop screens, write this code in SCSS: backhand index pointing down. And here's the result. Third breakpoint for tablet, 768 px. For tablet screens, write this code in SCSS: backhand index pointing down. And here's the result. Fourth breakpoint for mobile, 576px. For mobile screens. Write this code in SCSS. Backhand index pointing down. And here's the result. Take a break. Congratulations on completing Project 1. Now, take a break. You deserve it. How to build a responsive portfolio. We'll build a small responsive website for our second project. Here's what the desktop view will look like. And here's the mobile view. Okay then. Let's start coding. First, let's work with the desktop view by taking small baby steps. Before we start, create a folder named Images inside our Project 1 folder. Place all the images you downloaded from my GitHub repository inside the Images folder. The HTML. Step 1, create the sections. We'll create 3 sections for our website. Write this code in your HTML. Step 2, logo and menu items. We'll place the logo and menu items inside the .header div. Like this. Step 3, image and text. We'll place the image and text inside the .main div. Like this. Step 4, social media icons. We'll place the social media icons inside the .footer div. Like this. The SCSS. Step 1, update the SCSS. Delete everything inside our SCSS and write this code instead. This is what we have so far. Step 2, select all classes in HTML. Select all the classes we created in HTML on our style sheet. Step 3, select all children. Now select all the children of the parent classes. Note that __ logo nested inside .header is a shortcut of .header __ logo. Step 4, define the .container. Define the .container for the desktop layout. Like this. Apply display flex to .header and to the menu items so that it behaves like a row, not a column. Divide each section and create borders to see what we are doing. And here's the result. Step 5, complete .header styling. Let's complete the styling of our .header section using Flexbox properties and the appropriate font size. And here's the result. Step 6, add the image. Let's add the image inside .main section and create a partition for image and text. The result is a bit ugly at the moment. But don't lose hope. Step 7, make the image responsive. Style the image to be responsive like this. And here's what we have so far. The image is responsive all the way from 4K to your smartwatch screen. Don't believe me? Open Chrome Developer Tools and test it yourself and see. You can learn more about background properties here. If you want to make responsive images for responsive websites. Step 8, style the text. Let's style our text now. First, we'll bring it to the exact center with this code. Now, let's set font sizes for the text. The result looks like this. At this point, you can remove all the borders we placed inside our header, main, and footer classes. Step 9, the footer section. First, resize the images like this. Then, position the images to our desired place, with a small gap between the icons. Like this. And here's the result. Without the guides. Step 10, the mobile layout. We're almost there. Create a media query at the 650px mark and style the .header class like this. Step 11, center.main. Now, place the .main section at the exact center with this code. Step 12, style the image and text for mobile. Style the image and text for mobile layout like this. Step 13, style the footer for mobile. The last step is to style the footer section for the mobile layout. And here's our result. Take a break. Good job so far. Take a break before moving on to the next project. Smiling face with smiling eyes. Project 3, how to build a card layout. In Project 3, we'll build this. So let's start. The SCSS. On your style sheet, delete everything except the styles of hashtag size. And then add this code there. The HTML. Your HTML should look like this inside the body tags. Backhand index pointing down. Now, create 3 classes with class names. Row * like this, backhand index pointing down inside container. Each row will have 3 boxes with class names. Box * like this. Backhand index pointing down, and yes, you'll insert letters inside the boxes. We're done with the HTML part. And the result should look like this. Backhand index pointing down. The SCSS. Follow these small baby steps one by one to style the project. Step 1, add some SCSS code. To select and style all the boxes and rows together. This is what we write in our CSS. Backhand index pointing down. Step 2, make boxes behave like rows. Boxes should behave like a row. This code will make that happen. And here's the result. Backhand index pointing down. Step 3, define the boxes. Expand the boxes across the width and height and place the letters at the center. Here's the result. Step 4, create gaps between rows. Next we'll create a gap between the rows. Like this. Now let's create a gap between the boxes. And here's what it looks like. Step 5, set up the mobile layout. Create the media query which will be applied at the 650px mark. Change the orientation of the boxes on the mobile screen from row to column. And stretch the boxes to 100% of the width with this code. And here's the final mobile result. By the way, Project 2 is a part of this article of mine. If you're interested to learn more and practice both your Flexbox and media query skills, then go for it. Here's your medal for reading all the way until the end, Red Heart. Suggestions and criticisms are highly appreciated, Red Heart. YouTube/JoyShahab. Twitter/JoyShahab. Instagram/